Good morning. I am spot on weather meteorologist Matthew Euler. Welcome to my daily forecast update for the 9th of October 2025. On the title slide of today's presentation, I wanted to just kind of show you a unique cloud picture I took out from Western Virginia. And this was basically between the Blue Ridge Mountains, and then the mountains off to the west, Appalachians. And so I'm in the Shenandoah Valley getting this picture here, and we see these saucer-shaped clouds. These are known as lenticular clouds. In fact, they've been mistakenly reported as UFOs in the past by people because of this saucer-looking shape. So again, nice shot here of some altocumulus standing lenticularis clouds to kind of bring up the video here today and start things off. All right, so let's take a look at the current weather satellite. This is the visible imagery for today, the 9th of October, 2025. Note that we have clear skies really across much of the mid-Atlantic for the day-to-day. We see a cold front now that has moved offshore. It's well offshore here off the coast of North Carolina, draped down off the coast of South Carolina. High pressure is to the north over New England. And we're seeing these lower clouds, these right in this area here. These lower clouds are kind of pushing in towards coastal northeast North Carolina right now, right along the coastline there. But a lot of high pressure. We got clear skies from Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, right on down into Virginia, and much of North Carolina is clear this morning. We look over here on the right-hand side at the actual weather observations from this morning. We see the wind barbs coming from the north, northeast. So we have generally northerly and northeasterly winds across eastern Virginia, even extending back towards central Virginia, more of a northerly wind. And the temperatures are just absolutely pleasant here in early October. We have air temperatures at Richmond about 55 degrees with a dew point of 42 degrees. For the Norfolk International Airport, things are looking just really wonderful with air temperatures about 65 and a dew point of 49 degrees. You look up here into Pennsylvania, we have air temperatures in the low 50s and dew points in the upper 30s. Down towards Washington, D.C., air temperatures in the upper 50s and dew points in the upper 30s. So just a pleasant fall air mass is in place this morning across the mid-Atlantic as a whole. Now, these are my main weather headlines for today's video. We're going to see increasing clouds tomorrow on Friday, the 10th of October, with a high temperature in the upper 60s, so remaining cool for tomorrow. We will see those clouds on the increase. Most importantly, we'll see PM rain and becoming breezy for this Saturday, the 11th of October. Right now, it looks dry in the morning on Saturday, but the timing of the precip coming up from the south has sped up a little bit. And so we're looking at some rain showers moving in for Saturday afternoon and especially by Saturday evening. So if you got any outdoor activities, Saturday morning is probably the best time to knock those out. We will see a coastal storm that's going to move up and along the mid-Atlantic coast, and we're going to see rain, strong winds, rough seas, dangerous rip currents, coastal and tidal flooding across Hampton Roads cities from Saturday evening through early Monday morning. So this is going to have some significant impacts around the area. I'll get more in the details on the coastal storm here towards the end of the video. We will see drying out conditions behind the storm by early next week, the Tuesday, the 14th of October. And then we'll see an upper trough digging in from New England down to the mid-Atlantic from the period of Thursday, 16 October through Sunday, 19 October. And as this upper trough kind of digs in, we're going to see cooler than normal temperatures descending from the north. So we'll keep an eye on those conditions and see how that changes or does not change over the coming days. We look at the forecast now, 500 millibar height anomalies on the left for the 10th of October for Friday tomorrow. There will be an upper level ridge with this brown coloring above normal heights extending, the ridge axis extending north into the western portions of Alaska and the Bering Sea. Downstream from the ridge, we see a closed upper level low and a trough. Positioned just to the west of Oregon, extending just west of Northern California. An upper level ridge will build north across areas of Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, eastern Montana, western Dakotas, right on up into central Canada, south central Canada. There's an upper level trough there, right around the vicinity of Lake Superior, a weaker upper trough. And then we see ridging generally across New England for tomorrow afternoon. And then we see this upper level low, this troughing that's developed over Florida, the blue shading over Florida. And again, that's going to be that shortwave trough. And out ahead of that shortwave trough axis, you're going to have rising vertical air motion, which is going to contribute to the development of a coastal low pressure system that's going to initially develop off the Carolinas and work its way up towards Vacapes and even up towards the New Jersey coastline in the coming days. We do see upper level troughing for tomorrow afternoon, the green coloring across the Arctic, and then we see another upper level trough across the North Atlantic, and then some upper level height rises, building heights there to the east of Greenland. Over here on the right-hand side for tomorrow afternoon, we see there off the Carolina and Georgia coast some increased precipitation in the yellows, heavier precip in the yellows and the orange and red colors. A 1031 millibar high will be positioned just to the southeast of Cape Cod for tomorrow afternoon. So we have general easterly winds across Hampton Roads and in North Carolina. Well, there's a low pressure system, a surface low, just to the north of Lake Superior with some scattered showers. And then we see some more scattered showers, some more rain there across western Colorado, eastern Utah. And we do see some scattered showers along the U.S. West Coast out ahead of this closed upper low and trough. Looking at the forecast on the left, 500 millibar height anomalies for 11 October this Saturday. Upper level ridging extending northeastward into Alaska. Downstream of that ridging, we see the trough axis finally moving ashore there across Washington State, Oregon, and Northern California. So we have that trough moving in to the western U.S. There is an upper level ridge and building heights across portions of Iowa and Minnesota, and again, just south of Hudson Bay in Canada. A weak closed upper low in the vicinity just to the east of Detroit, Michigan, right in the vicinity of Toronto. And then there is this upper level trough that continues to dig even deeper here. We see a closed upper level low position around Jacksonville, Florida by Saturday afternoon, the 11th of October. We have some ridging there poking in from the southwest and northeast, the ridge axis into New England for Saturday. An upper level trough and closed low will be positioned over the North Atlantic. We still see that troughing across the Arctic regions in the green colors here, these closed lows. They're up over the Arctic area for Saturday afternoon, and the upper level heights, they're pretty high to the east of Greenland once more. Over on the right-hand side, we see now that we have a 1,004 millibar low pressure system that has developed generally to the southeast of Charleston, South Carolina. To the north of this low, we're going to have a lot of moisture, heavier rain starting to move in to portions of eastern North Carolina, including the Outer Banks. By early Saturday afternoon, we see some scattered showers as far north as Delmarva by this point in time. And we're going to start really seeing some stronger east-northeast winds north of this low pressure center. In the Midwest, things are looking dry for your Saturday, the 11th of October. Conditions are much more unsettled across the Intermountain West as some of the moisture from the decaying tropical cyclone moves up into this area. So we could see some heavier showers from this tropical moisture streaming in across western Colorado, western New Mexico, into Arizona, Utah, as well as Nevada. Additionally, we have a lot of unsettled conditions associated with the upper trough there into portions of Washington State, Oregon, and Northern California. We look at the temperature anomalies for this Friday, tomorrow, the 10th of October. Notice the cooler than normal temperatures in the blue coloring up and down the eastern seaboard. Temperatures will be running anywhere from 5 to 6 to 7 degrees below normal across Virginia and the Hampton Roads area. We see below normal temperatures extending down all the way to Florida, Georgia, the other Carolinas there, South and North Carolina, up towards New Jersey and Massachusetts. The warmest temperatures will be out over the central and southern plains Kansas and Oklahoma will be running 12 to 15 degrees above normal. And then we see another pocket of well above normal temperatures in Montana, Wyoming, as well as Idaho, where temperatures will be running anywhere from 14 to 18 degrees above normal for tomorrow, Friday afternoon. We do see some cooler than normal readings from southern Oregon down to northern California. Over on the right-hand side, we're showing temperature anomalies now. For this would be Saturday afternoon, the 11th of October, as that trough comes ashore in the western U.S. You have a lot more clouds and that showery precip, cooler conditions across northern California and southern Oregon, where temperatures will be ranging anywhere from 15 to 20 degrees below normal in the green coloring. We do see warmer air streaming in from Texas into Oklahoma, Kansas, eastern Colorado, portions of western Nebraska and western Dakotas, as well as eastern Montana. You could be running anywhere from 20 to 24 degrees above normal with your temperatures on Saturday afternoon. Wyoming also running very much above normal. You notice here along the immediate southeastern coast up to the mid-Atlantic coast, temperatures are still running slightly below normal, especially along the coastal Carolinas where you're going to have a lot of clouds, onshore winds, those cool onshore winds, and more in the way of rain. We look at the forecast now over here on the left for this is Sunday, the 12th of October, Sunday afternoon, this 12th of October, 2025. We have an upper level high and ridging extending from southwest to northeast into Alaska. An upper level trough continues to hold its position over the western United States with the lowest heights in the green centered over southwestern Canada into Washington state. An upper level ridge will continue from Texas. The ridge axis extends northeast towards Michigan. And then we see another ridge axis poking in from the North Atlantic, working its way from southeast, that ridge axis southeast to northwest orientation, up into eastern Canada and southeastern Hudson Bay. Beneath this upper level ridge over eastern Canada, we see that digging trough still there, the signature still there. We have well below normal heights associated with the trough. The trough axis is extending through central and Florida in the eastern Gulf. And then we see a closed upper low on Sunday afternoon across the North Atlantic and above normal heights, generally extending, ridging in towards Greenland by this point. Over on the right-hand side, your precipitation forecast. You see now that we have this 999 millibar low pressure system, generally to the northeast of Hampton Roads out over the western Atlantic, just to the east of the Delmarva by Sunday afternoon. And we got a lot of heavier precip to the north of this surface low pressure system moving into Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York City. Looks like a washout, New Jersey as well. We still see some moisture on the backside of this surface low from Delmarva down into Hampton Roads and to North Carolina. Dry across the southern U.S. as well as the Midwest for Sunday afternoon, and then there is a 984 millibar low there on the North Carolina-Canadian border, and we actually see some blue coloring here across parts of the higher elevations of the western U.S. into Montana and to parts of western Wyoming. This is associated with snow, the blue coloring, so it's going to be cold enough in the higher elevations to mix and even be all snow. We do see some scattered showers across Seattle down to Portland, Oregon for Sunday afternoon. And there also will be another plume of moisture basically situated from southern Arizona through southern New Mexico. We look at the forecast, 500 millibar height anomalies on the left for Monday, Columbus Day, the 13th of October. The upper level ridging continues across the northeastern Pacific. Ridge axis extending towards the Yukon and Northwest Territories there of Western Canada. And a closed upper level low will be positioned just to the west of Portland, Oregon, with a trough axis extending south from that, just to the west of California. An upper level ridge, you see a 588 decameter upper high, which is going to extend from from Mexico up towards Arkansas, with the ridge axis extending north into the eastern Great Lakes. And then the closed upper level low has now positioned itself by Monday afternoon over New Jersey. Upstream of that, rather downstream of that, we see an upper level ridge extending towards the northwest, still focused there across southeastern Canada. And then there's going to be an upper level trough across the North Atlantic. Over here on the right-hand side, looking at the precipitation forecast, this low pressure system is in no hurry to move. Still at 999 millibars, positioned right over the Delmarva area, and we still have a good fetch of strong east and southeast winds north of that low pressure into Massachusetts and portions of Rhode Island and Connecticut. To the Hampton Roads area, for the Hampton Roads area, we're going to see more of a northwesterly wind direction by Monday afternoon, which will help to dry things out. And the other good thing about this is it's more of an offshore type wind from the land toward the sea. So that's also going to be very helpful. We look at the overall the northern plains. We see a new cold front that's now moving in based on the tightness and packing of these thickness lines here. We see an upper level, or actually a surface low, 984 millibars up into central Canada, and then more scattered showers across Arizona, New Mexico, as well as unsettled conditions remain across western Washington state into western Oregon and northern California, right ahead of this another trough axis here. We look at the temperature anomalies on the left for the Sunday, the 12th of October, below normal temperatures across Montana, as well as Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, parts of northwestern Colorado. With the clouds there in southern Arizona, we're seeing below normal temperatures, 5 to 10 degrees below normal. And Nevada, you're going to be running 10 to 15 degrees below normal for coming up this Sunday afternoon. The warmest temperatures remain focused from Texas up to North Dakota, showing readings anywhere from 15 to 20 degrees above normal in this zone. And then right along the immediate New England coast down the mid-Atlantic coast, temperatures will remain below normal with all those clouds and the precipitation. On the right-hand side, we look at Monday's temperature anomalies for the 13th of October, below normal readings from the Dakotas westward to the U.S. West Coast. And then we see the below normal readings continuing across Northern California. For Monday afternoon, the 13th of October, temperatures running 14 to 18 degrees below normal. The warmth now starts moving in towards the northeast here on Monday afternoon from northeast Texas, Oklahoma, parts of Arkansas, southern Missouri, into western Illinois. Temperatures are going to be running 14 to 16 degrees above normal in that area. And we do see some maroonish colors there in southeastern Canada. Beneath that upper level ridging, you're seeing above normal temperatures into eastern Canada as a whole. Below normal readings in the blue coloring here along coastal sections of New England down to the mid-Atlantic. Here is the forecast for Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 14th of October. Here on the left, the 500 millibar height anomalies, 588 decameter upper high. Look at this thing. Ridge axis in the same location across the northeastern Pacific. The wavelengths are fairly short, though, so we get this closed low that just kind of positions itself west of San Francisco. By the time we get to Tuesday afternoon next week, a closed upper low in the trough remains there just to the west of California. And we see this very strong upper high, closed high here over eastern Texas. And the ridge axis is extending to the north across the Midwest. So we see some above normal temperatures once more across Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. And then we have troughing that remains there off the U.S. East Coast by next Tuesday, the 14th of October. We see that we have a much stronger upper level low and trough positioned across the North Atlantic there for next Tuesday afternoon, and very strong upper level highs here, upper level heights rather, across portions east of Greenland into southern Greenland. Over on the right hand side, 1,000 millibar low pressure system. That low continues to just remain across the western Atlantic. Strongest winds by this point, though, should be offshore based on the spacing of these isobars, these black solid lines. The tightest packing is offshore over the open waters of the western Atlantic. We do see conditions drying off here across the mid-Atlantic, parts of Pennsylvania. 1034 millibar high will be in place across south central Canada by next Tuesday afternoon, the 14th of October. Scattered showers across, and maybe even some embedded thunderstorms across eastern Nebraska. And then we see a very unsettled pattern here into parts of California. In fact, if we look at things here, there's some blue coloring in the Sierra Nevada there in California by next Tuesday afternoon. So with these thicknesses kind of dropping significantly, we're going to have much colder temperatures at the higher elevations there in California, which could result in some snow. We look at the forecast for the 15th of October, next Wednesday. A closed upper level low has now moved into Northern California and Northern Nevada. We do see an upper level upper level ridging, upper level ridging extending towards the northeast, again towards Western Canada. Strong upper level high, still positioned over Texas with ridging across the central U.S. up towards southern Canada. And then we see very high heights here in the upper atmosphere extending towards southern Greenland. Beneath that ridging, we see a closed upper level low and a major trough here across the western and North Atlantic. We look over here on the right-hand side. Unsettled conditions remain across Northern California in association with that closed low and the trough moving in for next Wednesday, the 15th of October. More unsettled conditions across Montana, parts of the Dakotas, western Wyoming, and eastern Idaho. You see some blue coloring in here again. We could see some snow in the southwestern Montana and northwestern Wyoming. Additionally, we see we have a 1031 millibar high over south central Canada, and we're seeing the clockwise flow around that high. It's going to continue to bring in north and northeast winds across much of the mid-Atlantic for next Wednesday. All right, so now let's look at the temp anomalies here on the left for next Tuesday, the 14th of October. We see well below normal temperatures across California. We do see below normal temperatures as well. It really stands out in the green coloring there across Montana, and below normal readings from the Dakotas down to Nebraska. Warmest temperatures will be from northeastern Texas through eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, into Missouri, Illinois, up to Indiana and the lower portion of Michigan. Cooler than normal readings, just slightly below normal into Massachusetts and Connecticut, Rhode Island, Long Island, and New York City, down to New Jersey and through the Delmarva coastal sections, as well as coastal southeast Virginia and eastern North Carolina. Over on the right-hand side, temperature anomaly forecast for next Wednesday, the 15th of October. Well below normal temperatures. We're talking double digits below normal there in the green colors across California, into Nevada, and then into portions of western Montana. Well above normal temperatures across the southern plains. Kansas, Oklahoma is running 15 to 16 degrees above normal, as well as into Arkansas, running 12 to 15 above normal, and in Missouri, 15 to 20 degrees above normal by next Wednesday, the 15th of October. We do see some milder temperatures now returning to New England after that coastal low has finally moved well out to the Atlantic. So we are seeing some milder temperatures here briefly across New England down through coastal sections of the mid-Atlantic. All right, so now let's focus this portion of the video on upcoming coastal storm for this weekend for Hampton Roads. Okay, so I'm starting with the European, the overnight run, and you can see the numbers here. They represent maximum wind gusts possible to occur. So we see initially on Saturday evening, this would be Saturday evening, the 11th of October. You're seeing gusts between 25 and 30 knots along the southeastern Virginia coastline. Go down towards the Outer Banks and out areas there, the outer portions of the northeastern North Carolina, and we see more of the oranges and yellows, which indicates 34 knot plus wind gusts for Saturday evening, the 11th. Over here on the right, look at this. This is the forecast wind gusts for Sunday afternoon, early afternoon, showing 43 to 46 knots of wind gusts across Hampton Roads. A little bit less now down to the south. You see the strongest wind gusts are out over the open waters to the east of the Delmarva by this point. Look at the wind gust forecast for Sunday evening, the 12th of October, 2025. We still see 40 knot wind gusts here in the Hampton Roads cities. Strongest winds will be just over the open waters, just the east of Delmarva, where the winds can be gusting up to 64 knots. And then over on the right-hand side, we lose the yellows and orange colors, and we go more of a green color, which indicates the wind gusts by Monday afternoon, the 13th of October, should decrease to between 25 and 30 knots across Hampton Roads. We look at the rainfall forecast. The graphic here on the left is the Euro rainfall forecast. This is through Saturday evening, and we start to see the rain, the blue coloring here. The rain comes up from the south on the north side of that coastal low. So we're seeing around a half an inch of rain by Saturday evening. So rain's going to begin on Saturday afternoon. Over here on the right, things really ramp up. We see Outer Banks locations could be up to 5 inches of rain. And over in Hampton Roads now, we're basically around an inch and a half of rain by Sunday morning. So I expect the heaviest rain may actually occur overnight Saturday night and Sunday morning. We over here on the left, really not much change. By Sunday evening, we really don't see much change in the rain totals for Hampton Roads. Still around 2 inches or so. Heaviest rains will be well offshore over the western Atlantic. And then over here on the right, the rainfall forecast from the European model. Again, 1.9 inches, not much change there. So what we're looking at right now are total rainfall amounts between 1 and 3 inches across Hampton Roads. The good news about this system, as it kind of comes up the coast, it speeds up a little bit. About 2 days ago, we were worried about this thing stalling out just offshore Bay Capes, which really would have produced some amazing rainfall, pretty high rainfall amounts. But in the case of what's going on now in the modeling, it's showing the low move up east of the Delmarva and kind of just linger up there. And so we get more of the northeast winds on Sunday, very strong northeast winds. But then the winds will shift around here to the northwest, more offshore by Monday. This is the other major concern. This is the latest forecast of the Weather Forecast Office in Wakefield. This is a concern for Sunday and Sunday night at the high tides, those times specifically. So you see the purple coloring from Yorktown down to Norfolk and down basically along the coastal sections of southeast Virginia down to northeastern North Carolina. And the purple coloring, that indicates the potential for major tidal flooding. Okay, so this is a concern. Coastal and tidal flooding is a concern. And you literally see what the purple over here means, the major category. Major coastal flooding expected, 2 to 3 feet or more of inundation. Okay, so this is what we're concerned about. Where the purple colors indicate major potential flooding. So let's keep an eye on this in the coming days. All right, so now let's take a look at the 7-day outlook for Hampton Roads, Virginia cities. For tomorrow, we'll see those increasing clouds. So we're going to go back to mostly cloudy conditions. A high of 68 for Friday, dropping to 63 by Saturday morning. And then we will be dry for Saturday morning, but then we see the rain moving in from the south on Saturday afternoon and breezy conditions, a high of 71, dropping to 64 by Sunday morning. A lot of rain and wind for Sunday. A high of 69, dropping down to 56 as those winds flip around to the north and northwest. That will allow for cooler temperatures to come in on the backside of the coastal low. So by Columbus Day, we're looking at windy conditions with a high of only 66, dropping to 57 for Tuesday morning. And then finally, we dry out Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Highs generally 70 to 71 and lows into the 50s. And then Thursday next week, we get cooler again behind that trough and the next cold front as that trough digs into the mid-Atlantic. We go back down to 67 degrees with breezy northeast winds. All right, this is where you can find me. Spot on Weather. Just search Google Spot on Weather Weebly. Check out the weather blogs, the weather photos, and much more. We also do post this daily forecast on X. All right, that's everything for today's video, everybody. I hope everybody has a great Thursday. And until next time, take care and God bless everyone.